All right, good morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, guys. Let me know if you're able to hear me. Give me a yes in the chat box. All right, cool, sweet deal. Morning, Nathaniel. Hope you're doing all right. All right, guys, getting right to it. Doing good, man. Got in this NAS play last night, um, and it's working out pretty good right now. Possibly it's going to get even further, probably to this swing, um, and maybe even back to the previous day's low. So, yeah, we're doing good on that one, big time. And then again, dollar is getting ready. We just got a change of character right here off the break of this trend line, and we're just getting ready to break above yesterday's low. I'm sorry, yeah, yesterday's low. So if we break back in, that's going to give us the confirmation that the dollar's going to at least try to do its pullback to what we see on this overall downtrend that we've been having on the dollar. And then again, looking at it from a higher time frame, we can see, that this was simply a major pullback, to this major up move, right? So if we kind of place a Fibonacci from the low to the high, we're getting rejection right off the golden zone, which when we look left is exactly what happened, in the past. We got a nice push up from this area. So we're probably going to get the same thing, if not more now, because the Feds are going to be talking this afternoon about interest rates. And to be quite honest, they know, in my opinion, I think they know that it's time to raise the interest rates. But politics, man. We don't know all the ins and outs, and why they do or don't do certain things. But he hasn't been raising them lately, which was causing, helping the dollar fall pretty much. So now it's that time for us to, um, or it's that time for him to kind of make that change, right? And increase the rates, try to battle inflation with that. And, in doing so, that will cause the dollar to rise. So I won't be surprised if he says something along the lines of increasing interest rates, and that pushes the dollar to some degree, at least for the day. So we'll see. It may play out for the rest of the week as well, but this is what I was waiting for. So we made this low, now we made this higher low, and we made another higher low. And when we look at it on the 30-minute time frame, right here, these three candles look like a morning star. All right. And again, you guys just have to learn about those to try to spot them, right? Because see, we kind of got it right here too, this morning star, but price never went up. So, and again, this is just while we wait for additional candles to give us confirmation to break above certain areas. That we have more confidence in the trade continuing to, go in the direction that this candlestick pattern tells us it should. All right. So again, guys, just a few tips on these candlestick patterns. Don't just trade them because you see them, right? Trade them because you see them with confirmation in regards to everything that you have going on with the chart. All right. But dollar getting ready to rise, guys. So we're going to try to look at our major pairs and see which ones we can catch this morning. Do want to point out that we have odd news. Sorry, cat CPI is coming out at 8:30 Eastern time this morning. So this was like the dollar last week. when our CPI came out lower than expected, the dollar tanked. Okay, so this could be the same thing for the CAD, um, because this also happened to the pound last week when they had CPI. Uh, their CPI numbers came out lower like the dollar, and they also fell. So the expectations that the CAD has for CPI is also lower. So it was previously 3.8. They're thinking it's going to be 3.6. Uh, another year of 3.7. They think it's going to be 3.6. And kind of the overall the core CPI, I guess, um, or really it's just month over month. They're expecting no real change. But regardless, what I'm trying to get at is that the CAD pairs will be some pairs that we definitely want to take a look at here. So here, CAD JPY. Now, somebody in the Discord asked about this last night. I think it was my man Tim, and then I told him, hey, we need this change of character here. So we got the break, we got the retest, and then we started to push up a little bit. So I told him, to buy here, but we can see that, pull back on us and went a little lower before it's starting to rise once again. So what would have made the difference here if he bought is just basically where he put his stop loss. So if he put it behind here, he probably got hit and didn't make it. But if he went from a higher time frame, maybe he could have placed it down here and he's surviving this trade. Either way, this is starting to look better for a pullback or a up move, as we definitely have confirmation of change of character on the lower time frame, right? But cat pairs, guys, again, just try to keep them on your radar. I'm gonna scan through them really quick just to see. All right, I can tell you right now, cat CHF is gonna rise, and that's because we have a falling wedge, and it looks like we have a breakout of that falling wedge. All right, again, guys, when you get good, you don't really need to mark up the charts. You can pretty much eyeball almost everything, and definitely want to get people to that level if you're not there already. Okay, so please join the Discord. Link is on my website, forexwithbain.com, and we will get to it. All right, but again, this is what I see, right? Falling wedge coming into a support area, and then the breakout of that. So if you guys want to take the chance, you can buy it right now, right? With the stop below the low, and at least just go for a 1 to 2. Okay, we may very well do that because this is only 18 pips right now, guys. All right, and this is on the 4 hour, so we're not getting much out of this move. All right, the cat CHF doesn't do numbers like that, but the setup is looking pretty good. All right, let's just do one quick little analyze. So yesterday's high and yesterday's low. Martez Ghost, what's up, fellas? Hope y'all doing all right. All right, so yeah, so here when we were on Friday of last week, we end up breaking the low of Friday, and then we started pushing lower, and then we made this new low. So what was expected, right? Since we took out the low of this day, right, and we closed lower, we're expecting to take out the low of this day, which we have not so far. So we don't know if it's going to get taken out or not because again, it's ranging at the moment between the high and the low of yesterday. So we just have to play it how it goes, and how it is when we look at it on this lower time frame, like the 2 hour, we're seeing the falling wedge into support with the breakout. So again, we may just push up to the high, take it out, and then, maybe even possibly take out the low, right? There's so many possibilities, but just going off the chart pattern alone, guys, is where you want to, key your focus in, right? So don't think too much about it falling because the chart pattern is not a falling chart pattern, right? It is a rising chart pattern. So we can at least get to the high of yesterday, or we can get to this level that we see up here, all right? Because we got fair value gaps, we got an order block sitting right above it. So if we already got the 1 to 2 for just 40 pips, but we could probably push it up just a little bit to here to get a little more bang for our buck. All right, guys. So just right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and purchase the CAD CHF because of what it looks um probability of it rising. All right, and this is what it's going to look like. So I'm putting the stop below the low. Practices, if you will, right, that you guys will learn over time of putting your stops below the high or the low, or I'm sorry, the high or the low of a previous day. All right, because chances are, once one, gets created or taken out, right, the other is going to get, is going to be the target, right? That's just part of the systematic way that the market moves and how the banks manipulate price, right? And how they manipulate things to take your money. Eventually, you guys are going to get the story from me, and I'll break that all down, and you'll understand it. But for now, I just need you guys to know that these previous day swings, I'm sorry, previous day highs and lows, as well as previous week highs and lows, are really critical areas to look to place your trades at or from. Okay. So just, throwing that in there. But here's the play, guys. And again, it's a real simple one. We're not risking a whole lot. So we should do pretty good with CAD CHF. All right. And this is a buy now. Okay. Your entry is going to be 0.64517. Okay. Stop loss is going to be 0.64276, and that is for 25 pips. All right, your take profit is going to be 0.65005, and that is for 48 pips. All right, so right out the gate, we're trying to take advantage of this. So again, if interest rates really don't, sorry, not interest rates, inflation really doesn't change for the CAD, or if it's positive, that's going to send this trade to the moon. All right, most likely. Okay, and if we can go out to the higher time frame, we can see that again we got that consolidation here, but here is where we have our major swing point where price rose up and then eventually turned around to come all the way down. So we can get up to here, and if we measure that out, that's about 100 pips to there. So again, guys, get ready for something along those lines. On the CAT CHF, the setup looks perfect. Okay. Um, CAD JPY also kind of, again, looks like we can get the buy, but let's just adjust our high and low. Yeah, so now, okay, no, we still got it. So yeah, this was the high. That's the low. We broke the low. So again, what that means is, well, the candle hasn't fully closed yet, okay? But if it does, then that means we took out the low, right? And then we can expect to continue going lower. And here's the other, part of, just the high and the low of the day, guys. So peep this. Again, it's not just, once it breaks a low, right? We expect it to go lower. But then what is the chart showing us, right? What is the overall higher time frame showing us, right? And it looks like, for the most part, right, we're breaking this swing low right here. So yes, whenever you get a break of a low, you are expecting a pullback, right, before you're expecting a continuation to the downside. But there's so much, between the high and the low of yesterday, there's so much liquidity that it can go and grab as a pullback before it continues to make the run falling down. So all I'm getting at is that you have to keep in consideration everything that you see from the higher time frame to make sure that it lines up with how you're reading the previous day high and low, or the previous week high and low, if you happen to be at that, those points. Okay, so like if we do this, we're on the daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's the high of the week, right? It just so happens to be a swing. So after a while, you guys are going to peep that if you try to map out where's the high and the low of the week. All right. Um, and again, you just go by the previous week. So it's really not these candles. It's really right here from the 17th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can tell this was the highest price it's gotten, and then here was the lowest price it's gotten. So we broke in the weekly low off this candle, which was yesterday, right? and now we're breaking the previous day low off the current candle that we're in. So a lot of this is screaming, that price is going to continue down. But when I look left, right, I see all of this, support area right here that it's been rejecting, right? So as much as we are breaking lows, right, breaking weekly lows, breaking daily lows, and falling, we're now in this big pool of support. So we can definitely reverse from here, go grab all the liquidity from everybody who sold and have their stop losses all up in this area, right, leading up to the previous day's high before we end up falling again. But who knows? We may not even fall anymore because each time we hit support, we took off. Hit it, took off. Hit it, took off. We're right back at the same place, right? Now, again, the more times it hit support, the more times it, mostly the chances of it breaking are higher. But again, we don't have to try to take every probability, right? We just got to take the one that kind of makes more sense into us taking the trade for the moment, for the day, for the week, whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, CAD JPY coming down and looking at it, you see how as we're falling, right, with this downtrend market structure, and we get here, we don't fall anymore. So all of a sudden, we got candles going left to right. They're stacking right next to each other. So this is, consolidation at its finest, but it's starting to give you an indication that, hey, maybe it's tired of falling, right? You understand what I'm saying? Look at the wick rejection. Small, bigger, 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 right? Rejected the whole zone. And now, we're probably going to go and rise on this. So again, guys, I'm thinking about, taking my chances right now on the CAD JPY as well, because here it is. We made this, this is a high. Here was a low, higher low, right? I'm sorry, lower high, lower low, but now we've just broken above this previous high. And to me, that is the change of character that we need. Of course, I want to see a pullback because now we have this gap between these three candles, which is also another good thing. Let me push this in so you guys can see. One moment. Okay, so right here, right, between this candle and this one, right, we got our fair value gap. Okay, so what I want to see is a pullback to this, and then bulls, respect it and show up. If I get that, then I'm definitely going to want to buy, right? But we don't have to wait for that. We could buy it right now where it is and just put our stop below the fair value gap or below the support area. All right. So let's see what that looks like, because this is starting to look really good for a potential rise. And we may not have a huge stop loss on this. All right. So 1 second. Let me get grooving with it. And let's say we buy now. Oh, okay, that's 66 pips below, right? If we make it tighter, that's 53 pips, which is really good. Okay. And then bringing it in. All right. And aiming for the previous day high. It's that simple, guys. All right, and that's going to yield us a 1 to 3 risk to reward. So risking 53 pips to make 160 pips. Music to my ears, guys. I'm taking the dollar JP. I'm sorry, the CAD JPY. Now, again, you guys can wait for the pullback to the fair value gap, right? I'm jumping in this not really prematurely because I do have a change of character, but I'm not getting, other confirmations after the change of character, right? Because again, still can go down, right? All it has to do is retest the low of where it broke, right? And then bears show up and it comes on down, right? So again, um, you know, better confirmations are seeing rejection of this fair value gap and bulls showing up to give us a new higher low, right? Or price breaking above, back into, this low from the previous, day, breaking back into this low, retesting it as support, and then coming in with the bulls like that. This would be the best trade, the best confirmation to take here with your stop again, behind the fair value gap easily, or even behind the low of the previous day. and then aiming to, get up to this high, right? And you can almost see how, like, just a little drawing, little illustration looks like it could play out that way in your mind, right? Even if it doesn't do it, but you can see it. So, um, these are, things that I'm aware of, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm okay with that, right? You understand what I'm saying? So if it does this fair value gap, my stop is still below here, I'm still surviving. If it comes and breaks above, and gets in here and respects it as support, all of this is still good from where I got in. So I don't have to really worry about it doing all of this, because my position covers any of this that it wants to do, right? Again, this is, again, just things that I, will help you guys understand in a very simplistic way, so that you guys can start to incorporate it and do it for yourself and just make it all make sense, right? It won't be confusing anymore, right? You're like, damn, why do they do this? Why do they do that? What's the point of waiting? Blah blah blah, right? You know what I mean? It's all a mystery until you get somebody to break it down for you, and now it's taking candy from a baby, right? So guys, CAD JPY, purchasing it for a buy, okay? And again, 3 pip stop and about 100 pip take profit. Oh, not 1,000, 100. All right, crank it up. Here is our play. JPY market, buy now. Entry, guys, is going to be 107.731. Stop loss is going to be 107.201. That is for 53 pips. Okay, take profit is going to be 109.301, and that is for 157 pips. Guys, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and the notification bell. Guys, share the channel with your friends, family. Get them in the mix. I'm telling you, a lot of people have joined in this past year, and they're already just elevating and getting to it and really seeing a difference. Okay. What we're doing here, guys, is not fugazi, right? I'm not a flyby type of person, right? It's not like you guys hear me and then you don't hear from me, or I'm trying to throw my course on you or something like that. No, I'm hands on, and I really care whether or not you guys understand this stuff. All right. My members will tell you, but um, it is what it is. It's just when it's if you feel it, right? If you know you're ready and you're trying to make a change, then come on over. This is the perfect place to be. All right. So all right, so we're gonna take those two CAD plays, right? We can wait a little bit later at 8:30 in the morning to try to look at other things like NZD CAD, Pound CAD, right? Those other pairs that have the CAD in them, AUD CAD, Euro CAD, right? Those are your other options, your other plays. But for now, we're gonna stick with these and just let these do their thing. Um, Over to the dollar, we're pushing up. So this is what I'm talking about, getting that confirmation. We need to have our plays going right now. So let's hop over. All right, Euro, we can see it. Also got break of a trend line right here. All right, so break, retest, we're falling. Guys, we're going to sell it, but hold on. I just want to look at its brothers and sisters. All right, I need to make some adjustments, so hang tight, guys. And then we're going to be getting ready to take advantage of the dollar rising. Okay, let me check that. Hold on. Okay, Martez, how about now? Is this better? Yes or no? Testing, testing. All right, cool, cool, cool. Let's get it. Sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you heard me okay. But if not, you should now. But we're definitely getting ready to sell these dollar-based pairs. I'm sorry, these non-dollar based pairs, because they look right for a drop. And man, that's going to do numbers for our NAS trade, like I told you guys last night. All right, but here we go. Just adjusting the high and the low of the previous day. So we'll have an idea on what to work with for these for these major pairs. So boom and boom. All right. You see, this bad boy is about to rise. Okay. See the rejection off the previous day, right? So if we took out the low, we're expecting to take out the high, right? But we'll work it all out in a second. The non-dollar based pairs look better than the dollar based pairs, just right off the bat. So again, here's the thing where we broke the low of yesterday on the USD JPY, but the dollar looks like it's getting ready to go up. So again, we're seeing rejection. It may go up, but because we broke yesterday's low, the JPY could still fall, right? And then when we look at it from a higher time frame, that's exactly what it looks like it's doing, right? The trend line here, and then the break, fall. But you can see we never got a pullback. So that may be a possibility today. Again, like I mentioned, guys, if Jerome talks anything positive about interest rates or raising them significantly, get ready for the dollar to take off. All right. But let's get into these, right? So odd dollar. Okay. So we broke above the high yesterday. It was false break, and now we're coming back in, but we're still above it for now. So I'm not going to take it for a sell just yet. Euro USD. Now, Euro USD, we broke the high. We came back in, breaking the trend line. We rejected the high, and now we're going to push down. So we're going to have a easy sell here, guys, from where price currently is down to the previous day's low. And it's going to be good 40 pips that we can catch out of that. And don't get me wrong, here is the swing point. Okay, so all the liquidity sits in this order block and any fair value gaps that we created on this up move. So we can go and collect all of this on the way down. It just depends because when we look at the dollar, it has some stopping points, right? It has this support area here. I'm sorry, resistance area right here, which is also at a little bit of a swing. And then, going up, we have, this fair value gap, which it did mitigate already. So it's invalid, for, stopping at it. But at the same token, you never know. And then let's just look at it again from higher time frame. Okay. So again, we're just in the beginning, guys, but I expect us to at least get up to possibly here or here. But the problem with this, and it's something you guys always have to see, is that these swing points mean something, right? Right here, right? We got another one right here, right there, and then we got another one in the fair value gap, right? And then we got another one up here. So all these are places that the dollar could rise to and then begin to reverse from, right? Rise to here, reverse, rise here, reverse, rise here, reverse. It's just the way the market structure is, right? It's just not a guarantee that we're going to blow through all of these highs in a normal fashion, but if there's news behind it, then typically that's a catalyst that would cause that to break all of these highs, right? And just completely disrespect them. But on any given Sunday, right, these highs are respected, okay? And you just gotta continue to keep that in mind and respect them as well, right? Don't just think that it's gonna blast through and keep rising, right? Because that's just not how it is. So, even though the dollar's giving us signs that it's changing character, it's not really confirmed at the moment, right? All we got is a break of a trend line and a retest, right? Yes, some bulls have shown up from the lower time frame, but the lower time frame doesn't hold as much weight as the higher time frame. For example, here is that high, right? And here's our low. Well, when we look at this, we haven't really broken above this high, right? So from a higher time frame, we're still in a downtrend, right? And we could just easily continue falling. So we got to be careful, right? But just from the lower time frame, all right, we're seeing, the highs. This is why you go to the lower time frame to get all the details because now we see, oh, here was that down move, right? But it was over with, and now this whole little pullback, that we see, or this uptrend that we see, is really just a pullback to the overall down move on the higher time frame. So this could very well be, you know, over with, right? And we could begin to fall again. So I'm going to set some alerts just for that. But the main thing, guys, is making sure that you get confirmation on trades that you see that you want to get in, but you don't really have what you need, right? You want to wait for those confirmations because that's what makes the trades way better from an emotional standpoint. You don't have to, have your emotions in a blender because you didn't really quite wait for that confirmation, and now the trade is doing things that you don't want it to do, right? So that's just that. Either way, we haven't, we broke back in to the previous day low, but if we can get a candle, here's the pullback. So if we get a candle to kind of really open and close above here, then that would make me feel a lot more comfortable about the dollar continuing to rise, at least getting to this first little swing point to the left, to where we could get something out of those major pairs before the dollar reverses. Okay, so it's going to be a tricky day, guys. Let me just put it that way for what the dollar is going to do, but it's giving us early signs of a potential reversal. Even though it's in the pullback for now, if we get above here, we're probably talking reversal at that point. Okay. So Euro USD. You know what? We're gonna wait on it. All right, because again, it is pushing up, and the dollar looks a little funny, like it could still fall. So we're gonna wait. All right, we're not gonna get it just yet. And again, guys, there's nothing wrong with waiting. There's nothing wrong with not taking a trade. That is one of the failing points of a lot of newbie traders. You guys just feel like you got to trade, trade, trade every day, every day. Everything you see, every pair, all that. Nope, that's not it. Okay, you need to trade. Um, trade every day or look for a trade every day rather, right? But if there is no setup, if there is no confirmation, if there is no chart pattern, if there is no break and retest, if the bulls or bears haven't shown up, there's nothing for you to be, taking, right? You know what I mean? Don't just be like, oh, I want to make this much today, so here it is, this pair is rising, so I'm just going to buy it, right? It just those kind of ways of trading are just bound to, fail and blow your account and frustrate you, aggravate you, everything in between. And you don't want that. All right. So, again, just, trying to give you guys, how it goes, so you don't get burnt. But, it's always going to be on you how you, go about it. All right. But here, a lot of the, um, dollar based or $9 based pairs, they've broken the high and now they're consolidating to where they look like they're still going to push higher. So that's giving me the notion that the dollar is probably going to go back to falling once again. All right, so we're just going to have to wait it out and see. All right, but let me look at dollar CAD. So again, just consolidating, guys. The high of yesterday here and the low of yesterday down here. And all we have is consolidation. Okay. Okay. This is an ugly place to trade. Okay. Again, just a lot of whipsaw action. You think it's going down, you sell it. It respects this little area and then pushes back up. Maybe it doesn't even go all the way up, right? Maybe it just does a little halfway and then come down and comes up, right? It's just a mess. Is what I'm trying to get at. So don't, be so quick to try to trade in these consolidation zones, especially when you don't really have a sense of direction on the overall higher time frame. Like this is a mess, right? You went up, you went down, you went up, you went down, you went up, sideways, sideways, some more. Like it's no real, it's not like this. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, right? You don't see that. What you see is this. So let me draw what it is. It's like this: up, down, up, sideways, down, sideways, right? Look at the difference. Do you see what I'm saying to you guys? Eventually, this stuff will stand out to you, the more that you show up on the chart and you look for it. And when you see this, you know you got great trading opportunities. When you see this, you're like, it looks like it's kind of going down, right? So you don't really know for sure, but that's what I'm getting at. You'll just notice the subtle differences between the two, and you're gonna know that this one is not the best because it's a little iffy, and you just want to wait. Because yeah, we can still break and fall. The dollar does look like it still has potential to fall, but if you saw this right, and we were at this high like this, oh yeah, we're definitely gonna get in for a sell, right? You know what I mean? That's the way the confidence switches up when you understand the market structure that you're seeing on the chart, and it's just that simple, guys. All right, but nothing really here on the dollar CAD, dollar CHF. You can see how we respected these lows, and it looks like we're getting ready to push up, but you don't know. Let's just really reevaluate. Yeah, so we're consolidating between the high and the low, and again, it looks like we got a double bottom, but you never know, right? Because we haven't really get rid of that. All right, but here again, just double bottom. Okay, and we could end up rising higher. All right, but set some alerts. Okay, also set some just in case it begins to fall. All you want to do is be drawn back to the chart in some way, shape, or form because of what direction it's moving. All right, that's what the alerts are for. So if you haven't been using them, guys, start using those alerts. Okay, so you see how we got a mix of things where on one pair for the dollar, it looks like it's going to potentially rise. On another pair for the dollar, it looks like it can continue to fall, right? On another pair for the dollar, it looks like it's going to fall, right? So you don't have anything that's uh, clear cut across all of the major pairs, right? Some look like they're going to go up, right? Some look like they're going to go down, right? And that's how the dollar is looking right now. We're in a pullback, which is giving us uptrend structure to where it looks like it could potentially go up, but it also looks like this pullback could be over with, and now we can come heading on down, right? Again, it's just not going to be super clear until we at least get a bull candle above here or get the bear candle to break back below this low, this higher low, right? And then, we'll be able to start making some decisions. I know for a fact that if it breaks, you know, from this area right here, if it breaks below here, so it does like this and breaks here, I'm definitely going to sell, look for the ones where the dollar's falling and, probably UJ, I'll probably sell it. Probably dollar CAD, I'll probably sell it. Okay. And then, of course, for these, look, that looks like a buy right now. All dollar, pound dollar also kind of looks like a potential buy. And New Zealand dollar definitely looks like a buy. Excuse me. But, that's what I'll be waiting on the dollar before I buy those. All right. So guys, I know, this wasn't the quickest or anything, but again, just got to give you guys those gems and education so you'll know what time it is when we break away. All right. And know what to do. So nothing really just yet on the majors. Let's take a look at the pounds. All right. Let's readjust. Okay. So we took out the low from Friday, yesterday, right? And we also grabbed the liquidity from all of these other lows, right? We hit that. And now we're consolidating between the high and the low of yesterday on pound odd. All right. So just looking at it now, Guys, I still think we're gonna fall. Okay. Um, nice fair value gap. We rejected it, respected it, and we were pushing down. This is enough for me, guys, because I see the structure, right? And I see it even from a higher time frame, which, looks way better, right? And what we got, right? Let's just do it. Had a low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high, low, right? High, low, high, right? So this was our whole uptrend, and y'all can see that stair-stepping action. High, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, right? You guys get it, right? But then all of a sudden, we had a trend line break, okay, where we consolidated for a little bit right here, right, guys? The story will always keep, repeating itself. And you guys will get this very quickly over time, right? But now off the trend line break, we had a fall, right? We had our run, then we had our pullback, all right? And now we had another run that broke this low, okay? So from this uptrend, we switched to a downtrend, right? And now what do we have? A pullback, okay? So again, look at it. This is your high, your highest point. Then we made the low, which was breaking all of these lows to the left, okay? It broke all of these and closed right here. That's a significant drop down. That is a significant change of character going from a uptrend to a downtrend. Now we get our pullback, retesting, came right back to the area of where it broke out before. Guys, I'm giving it to you. This is review this, please. All right. So from there, we dropped down again and we just broke below those lows right here, right, with this bear candle. Now we're pushing back, and guess what? We have a bearish engulfing candle coming from this pullback, and I'm pretty sure if I put a Fibonacci on the high and the low of the day, we're somewhere in that 60 to 50 range, and I'm going to do it from the high to the low. All right, we just went right above the 61 just to a titch, and now we're pushing down. Guys, I'm going to sell pound odd because it still looks good for the sell. Okay, and 1 second, just drop it on the time frame. Okay, 1 hour. Okay, now what I'm looking for is some fair value gaps to see if I can get it at a premium price. And I don't see any, but there is. Yeah, I'm just gonna sell it because there's an order block here, but I'm gonna put my stop above here anyway. So we're talking 62 pip stop loss, but I can even make it tighter for 53. All right, so that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna aim for my 1 to 2. Now watch this. I'm gonna put a horizontal line at where I'm aiming for my 1 to 2, and then I'm gonna back up and look at the higher time frame, and then I'm gonna look left to see if price rejected this area in the past and went up. Right. So let's go like to the 4 hour. Guys, come on now. Come on now. Somebody got to be a believer, right? Look at all the areas, right? Here's two, two touches. Here's your third touch, I mean, second touch, or probably third, maybe. And then here is your fourth, and where you think I'm aiming for, right, guys? This is not. Hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Join the Discord. Come on over, please. All right. Things will change. All right. And you will really start to understand what this is all about and be able to capitalize from it. All right, guys. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and sell. Okay. Going for now again, we could also take it behind the previous day's high for a stop loss. But again, it's always pick your poison, okay? Because you will be risking more and not necessarily a 1 to 2, okay? It's all about risk management. Just coming down. I want to get you guys to play. All right, let's set some alerts really quick. We got and get these numbers in. Just go ahead and sell it right now at the market price. And here is the play. All right, guys. So we're at 720. Let's go ahead and take a look at our CAD plays. All right, we're down a little bit on CAD JPY, CAD CHF. We're pushing up and we're about to be in profit. All right, so if you're just joining and you did not take these trades, let me know and I will send the play to you. I'll repost it so you can grab it. But CAD CHF is still looking terrific for the buy. All right. The only thing we got to be careful when it gets to the high here, right? So by this time, you definitely want to break even, lock in any profits to try to make it a risk-free trade because it can reverse from this high and start to head back down. All right. I don't think it's going to do that, but I don't control the market, right? I just try to control what I can control, which is where I get in, where I get out, et cetera, right? How much I risk, what lot size I put in, you name it, right? Those are the things that are under your control, all right? Um, and we got in pound odd. Let me see Euro JPY. So just to show you guys a few things, right? Look, my team is up 82 pips on Euro JPY. We're also up at 65 pips on GJ, right? So we have a CAD JPY trade that we're in on the reverse side. But again, these are all different pairs, right? I know it has a JPY in it, but it's not every single time that this is falling, that's falling, this is going to be falling. You got to go with market structure over correlation every single time. All right, guys. Again, just another little tip, right? Let's look at our NAS play. All right, guys, our NAS play doing good, right? But here we are. We're at that little consolidation point, consolidation area, and it's time to take your money. All right, because we could reverse from here. So again, guys, lock in profits. We made a 40-point move basically on NAS. All right, it will be lovely if we continue to fall, but the dollar looks like it may fall as well. So, this could be over with, right? On NAS, we could start to rise from there. So again, just lock in profits. Let's look at US 30. All right, guys. This looks like a perfect break and retest, but I don't know if this is the correct high, right? So let's go to daily and see. Yeah, so it's not. So here is the previous high, and the low has stayed the same. Okay, but looking at it now on a lower time frame in here, it looks a little different. Okay, so adjusting the high right about there, and adjusting the low right about there. Okay, so again, what we're getting on US 30 is it's been rising, 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 right? So it did a surprise rise yesterday, and I missed it. Um, just got too busy, but now we got a bit of a pullback into this fair value gap on it, and it could rise from there. Now, if the US 30 rises, typically that means the dollar is falling. Okay, so all I'm going to really do is just set some alerts to kind of let me know if that's going to happen, and I might buy it, right? It just depends on how the day goes, because typically up until when the Feds are getting ready to speak or Jerome's getting ready to speak, things start to slow down, right? In the market, and you don't get much movement until after they, say what they have to say. So as much as I may want this to take off, it may crawl, right? It may just go sideways for a long time, maybe even for the rest of the day without making any move. All right. But again, it's just things that you learn over time. And you don't sweat it, but you know when to get in, when not to get in, et cetera, et cetera. Right. That's the way you find that out, guys. To answer that question. Hey, when do I get in? When do I get out? When do I trade? What's the best time, et cetera, et cetera. You got to show up, right? Of course, I can tell you London and New York session and all of that, but what real times, what real pairs, right? How do I know that the trade is ready for me to enter or get out of it, et cetera, et cetera? Those are simple questions, but not the easiest to answer if you don't show up, right? So a lot of this is, things, when I say, hey, trade the New York session, you Google it, you see what the New York session is, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna trade between that time. But that doesn't answer all the questions, does it? Right? You know what I mean? You still want to know, okay, what pair? All right. And then after what pair, when to get in. Am I supposed to get into a buy right now? Am I supposed to get into a sell right now? What is this showing me, et cetera, et cetera? Guys, the questions are endless, but at the same token, you need to ask them, right, in order to get your answer, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. And guys, I'm feeding everybody, all right? So please ask those questions. Don't think it's dumb. Whatever, all that's nonsense. We're trying to make some money. We're trying to change. So open your mouth and say something, all right? Look, dollar falling as much as I wanted it to push up, right? We're getting ready for it to potentially fall. We need to get out of it. And now our majors, because they look bullish still. All right, guys. So we killed EU yesterday, right? We took maybe 50 pips or so. Um, but again, because it's below the previous day low, I'm not going to take it for a buy just yet. But our dollar is looking very good for the buy, as well as New Zealand dollar. All right. Maybe not New Zealand, but our definitely looks, very nice break, nice retest, respecting the previous day's high and pushing back up. So just going to set a few alerts on the odd dollar, and I'll probably end up buying this, in a few minutes because the dollar is starting to, look like it wants to push down. So again, I'm just waiting for this, right? It to break this little support area or this little previous high right here. So if it comes down and it respects it, then we could be headed up. So I got to be careful, right? This is just not, it's not ready yet, right? That's the only way I can describe it. And again, you guys are going to get to learn about that and understand it so that you're not just, shooting, off the hip and taking any and everything when it comes to your trading. All right. Um, Again, guys, if there's any pair you guys want to take a look at, let me know. We are at the top of the hour, and I want to respect your time. I know some of you still have to go and get busy, so let me know. But yeah, I'm just gonna open it up for you guys at the moment. Look at this, right on time, guys. It is, one after the other, where the dollar's falling, the odd is rising. All right, so um, the pound CAD, just a few more. Evaluate the rest of the pound pairs. Look at that clean move up, right? And nice break, a perfect retest. Guys, we might be continuing to rise on the pound CAD. I would definitely take my chances off of this, even though this candle is not closed yet, but I can go to a lower time frame. And this candle is, okay, on the 30-minute. So we also tap right into the fair value gap that we created on the break. So this is starting to look really good. Okay. Yep, plenty of rejection right at the order block on top of that. Right, so get those alerts going. But I'm probably going to buy this right now because it looks like I can get away with a very tight stop loss. Okay, and this is textbook stuff, right? Breaking yesterday's high, coming and making a new high, pulling back, rejecting the area that it broke with, directly in the fair value gap at the tip of the previous day's high, and now we got bull candles showing up. So this really, really looks good for a buy. And it looks like it's probably going to be right around here. So here or here. All right, got some alerts going off. CAD, dollar falling. All right, for a buy. Can see a potential drop, right? Because yeah, we broke these lows and we kind of broke these lows. But guys, looking left, you realize that this is really move, right? And it's respecting the previous high. It's also rejecting the fair value gap. So these things you also have to take into consideration as you're reading price breaking these lows, right? So yes, we could. There's a fair value gap here, so we could respect that and then drop and do continue falling. But that's just a chance that I'm my buy trade. I'm only risking 16 pips. So again, what I'm getting at, guys, is y'all have to always look at, both sides of the coin. Now, well, guess what? Now, at that point, right, got a bit of a little trend line going right there, right? And if it breaks back into here, like, right, it hits me, takes me out, but it breaks back into here, all I'm going to do is it's going to do this, take me out. I'm just going to wait for it. And then if the bears show up, I'm going to sell it. I'm going to make up my loss, right? By the time it drops, 16, 15 pips, and then heads for the low, and I'm going to make that extra, right? That's how it goes, okay? But for now, again, this looks more of broke, respecting it with bulls showing up. Again, I know it broke the trend line, but it's just I'm taking in consideration market structure. There's also an order block that sits right here as well, right? So now knowing that, I can just push my stop loss back just a little further, boom, to cover that, right? And I'm still only 24 pip stop loss, all right? But I'm going to aim for here for now. And let me see what that looks like. That's a 1 to almost 2. So, I'm just going to go for the gusto. All right. And that's 24 pips for 116. But I'll most likely take my money around this midpoint. Okay. So here's the play. And I'm about to be in profit. So I need to. All right. Hold on, guys. I got you. Pound cat. This is a buy now. Entry is 1.7. Stop loss is 1.71618 for 24 pips. Take profit is 1.73026 for 116 pips. All right. When were you going to go over NAS again? Did you say to close it? Yes. Close NAS now. What type of candlestick pattern is the morning star again? The morning star is a bullish candlestick pattern. Right? And the evening star is a bearish candlestick pattern. Right? So morning star bullish, evening star bearish. But yes, Martez get out of Nas. Again, it's still a toss up, but because we're in this consolidation, all I'm really getting at is I don't want you to take your chances of just leaving it open without taking any money off the table. All right, because it's a critical point. It's a critical area, right? And just look at it, like, to be really honest about it, right? Let me do it like this, right? If I hit it like this and then like this, what you're noticing, okay, is see how the candles were consolidating. What are they doing here, right? They're doing the same thing. That sideways. Again, we can still fall, right? But I'm just trying to let you know that you at least need to move your stop to at least right above the consolidation block, maybe above this high. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it a risk-free trade, because at that point, you know, well, one, you're not closing the trade, right? You can close it just because, right? You can always get back in. But if you just move your stop and you place it here, that's going to give you the ability to have this still fall down in case the dollar begins to rise. Because look, you see, I was waiting for it to break this low. It hasn't done it. And now we're getting ready to potentially push up, set my alerts to let me know. And again, if we get above this previous day low, then again, we probably getting asked to continue falling. All right. So there's still money to be made here on the sell, but you just have to play it the right way because, you know, there's other reasons why it could rise. Right. That's what I'm getting at. So, again, you don't necessarily have to close it out completely, but at least lock in and get some of that money off the table, right? Start using their money to trade with like they do us. All right, you feel me? And that's that. But guys, we got some good plays, right? And profit on the pound cat, all right, our pound odd. All right, so we're not in profit on that. Let's just adjust our alerts. But again, I still feel good about the pound odd. And you got to pick your poison at the end of the day, right? Whether you think it can go against you or not, so what, right? Are you going to take the trade? That's all that really matters, okay? I know that, may have came off a little harsh, but, I didn't mean it that way. It's just you guys have to realize all of that, you know, thinking about how you're going to lose or how it's going to go against you. It's just a one-way street. What about if you win? Right? Did we forget about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what if that happens? Then what? Okay, but you'll never know if you don't take the chance, right? So please get out of your fear zone when it comes to, taking trades. Just pull the trigger, let it do, whatever it's going to do, and then learn from that. That's how we get great at trading. It's not, just because we show up and mark up the charts all the time. That's not it, right? It's because we actually take a trade and we see what happens, seeing if it lines up with our strategy, what we've been taught, et cetera, or what we learned, right? That's how you know. It's not just because you marked up the chart and you took a trade from somebody, right? That's not how you get it, all right? But guys, we are at the top. Here was the double bottom on pound CHF, and it did exactly as I expected. It's probably going to get here, but we missed the boat. But anyways, guys, any questions, any comments, any concerns? Now's your time. Please let me know. But if not, we can call it a morning. And again, I appreciate you guys getting up and rocking with me. Please make sure to go and check out my EP. All right, guys, it's on BeatStars. Let me see if I can link you to it really quick. All right, it is some Forex music in case you haven't heard any. All right, this will be a good time for you to check it out. And who knows, right? You may really love it, and get it in your playlist and your rotation with everything. All right, there's the link. Oh no, didn't go through. All right, there it is. All right, guys. So again, check me out on there. Got plenty more to come. And again, if you are not a part of my Discord, I do have a Thanksgiving special going on. 25% off of all memberships, guys. I have plenty of tiers to fit, your pockets. All right. So come on over, take a look, and take advantage of my Thanksgiving special for 25% off of everything. Okay. But in the meantime, in between time, guys, have a great morning. Be safe out there. Appreciate y'all. All right. It's your boy. Peace.